Ready? We're good? All right. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Crossroads Podcast, the PlayStation voice of Boss Rush Games. I'm LeRon Dawkins, the PC muscle race of Boss Rush Games, and I am joined by the typo queen herself, Nellie Lott.
What's up?
And along with the czar of LAN Party, Logan Corkins.
I mean, czar's one word. Yeah, sure. Okay, cool.
Let me
I prefer king of the peasants, but okay.
I mean, that's basically what czar is.
Let me get through the intros before you start.
Tyrant, leader,
Dictator. I'll take that
Dictator,
one. Lord
tyrant.
Supreme.
and we also have BRG's own PlayStation doctor, Austin Campbell.
What's up? The Vita lives.
Yes. What's
Yeah.
The Vita lives.
I'm a professor of anything. Like,
Are you questioning my credentials?
I am, because where did you go to medical school?
I didn't. You don't go to medical school for PlayStation. That's for humans, dummy.
You would clearly go to the Vita University of Learning.
When you go to the cell phone doctor, do they go to medical school too, Logan? Do they go to medical school too, Logan?
Okay, you know what? It's like when I go to the general to save some time, I become a part of the army. You know, not only am I getting great health insurance and car insurance, I'm getting a membership into the U.S. Army. That's why the general saves you time. You don't have to go to boot camp. You don't have to do any of that.
I don't know if this is disrespectful or not, but I wish they would have kept you over there.
Wow.
As you can tell, these guys are ready for trash talking all night. As you can tell.
Yes, yeah.
I think the fact that we only save it for one night a week might be a problem because, you know,
we do more trash talk on this show
yeah,
than we do on the actual show trash
yeah,
talk. It's pretty tame, honestly.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah, if I mention Max Kellerman tomorrow night, yeah, Austin's probably gonna go off, but you know.
I told you.
I saw the banter. I saw the banter on Twitter. I saw you two. I saw it.
Just, he can't take the truth being slapped in his face.
You're like Skip Bayless and Max Kellerman. All right.
I've never said I like. Okay, you know what?
All right, Nellie, how are you doing tonight?
Fantastic.
Are we ready to talk about some PlayStation?
Let's do it, y'all.
Please.
I mean, I can start placing bets on you two though.
Oh, let's do that. Let's absolutely do that. We have a bet going on Trash Talk for this year.
Yeah.
So I obviously I love Patrick Mahomes and Austin took Tom Brady. Whoever has the most touchdowns, one of us gets something. So on LAN Party, we do a show called the Official Top 10 Official Podcast. Mm-hmm. Again, Austin named that one. That's why it's. No, I'm kidding. But if I win, we do a top 10 John Cena's movie countdown.
Movie.
And I'm committing to watching every John Cena movie.
Yes.
Oh boy.
I will suffer through it.
If Austin wins, Austin knows about as much, or he knows as much about wrestling as like just the common everyday human being. Not much, right? Because wrestling's for nerds. Yay, I am one.
Yay!
The Royal Rumble is coming up though in January, and we do a show called Rope Talk, and Austin's going to be hosting that if he wins.
Okay.
Just going to be.
From what I'm aware, this is a very important event in WWE. The Royal Rumble.
Next to WrestleMania. Well, yeah.
WrestleMania.
It's the second best Big Four pay-per-view of the year.
What's the pecking order? It's WrestleMania, Royal Rumble,
No. Other way.
Yeah, it's Royal Rumble probably first, because WrestleMania, it can come and go. It depends on what the card is. The Royal Rumble, though, you at least have two really good Rumble matches every year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because you literally never know who's going to come back. Like Edge came back last year; it was awesome.
And then there's SummerSlam. I know that's one. I know that's the big one. And what's the next one? Money in the Bank.
Survivor Series.
Survivor. Yes, that's the one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And those are what we call the Big Four. Mm-hmm. Those are usually teamed up with like an NXT takeover. It's a whole weekend event. You can go. Yeah. It's at a host city, all that good stuff. And you have like Hell in a Cell, Money in the Bank. Those those are probably the two best normal pay-per-views.
Man, I love Money in the Bank when Miz was in rotation. I loved it.
Dude, Miz is the man. Give him back the IC title, y'all.
No. Just to show how old I am, I remember seeing that dude when he was trying to make it on the Real World.
Oh man, you're going way back there.
Yeah. Well, no, I used to be like a Real World fanatic. I actually auditioned for Real World. But I got cut off because the year they were going to film, I would have been too old to make the cast.
Oh.
Sorry, bro.
Yeah. All right, so
What's the Real World?
Crossroads is a PlayStation podcast here on Boss Rush Games, where each week live here on twitch.tv/Boss Rush Games Live, we come together to bring the latest news, rumors, discussions, and games in the world of PlayStation. If you can't join us live, you can head over to youtube.com/Boss Rush Games or your favorite podcast service every Thursday to listen to the show. Remember to please like, share, rate, and review us wherever you consume our show, and check out our family of podcasts and all of our content available on bossrushgames.com. Now I've thoroughly ignored Austin. Let's get started.
Welcome to the party,
He's now catching on.
Don't feel bad, Austin. I still love you.
Let me just go ahead and say welcome and thanks to everybody out there on Twitch right now that's checking us out. We love and appreciate it. We'll be checking out the chat and making sure that we're not neglecting you guys, and we'll try to banter back and forth with you as we get tonight's show on. We've got a lot of news and events to go over tonight too. So, yes, let's do this. I want to talk about this because I made a big stink about it, and I feel like this is the way to start the show off. Spider-Man Remastered for PS5. I mean, yes, I'm glad it's getting a remaster treatment, but they changed a lot, including Peter Parker's face.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
All right. Well, we knew that the Spider-Man Miles Morales Ultimate Edition release was going to include a remastered version of Marvel's Spider-Man from the PS4, which is totally souped up and tuned up for the PlayStation 5 system. This past Wednesday, though, Insomniac and Sony released an official 4K PS5 trailer for Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered, and it was quite a surprise for fans of the previous PS4 only release because Peter Parker has a brand new face, and I still don't know how I feel about this.
I'm still trying to figure out what the point was.
But... Yes.
Not my spite. Yeah, it doesn't.
You could have wasted your energy on something else.
That's exactly the way I feel.
I'm sorry. Am I being mean?
No, that is a great point,
okay.
Nellie. I'm
sorry.
Phenomenal point right there.
No, like all the resources they could have put. Yeah, I'm pretty sure like the stuff that they did to revamp the game is exciting, but the stuff, all the energy they put into redoing the character model's face. And I mean, I beat Spider-Man recently, and Peter Parker was prominent about as much as Spider-Man was prominent in the cutscenes.
Yeah.
And so they put all this energy into reconstructing this guy's face and stuff, and now I'm sitting up here like, why was it even necessary?
Here's where I want to go with this. If you look at the story of Spider-Man, Peter Parker is not a high school kid. He's not the MCU Spider-Man, right? He's probably post-college. You know, him and MJ have kind of separate lives at the beginning of that game. He's seen some shit. He's been Spider-Man for a while. Mm-hmm. And the face model or character or actor, whoever it is that they used for that, was kind of perfect fitting for it. It was a little bit aged. It wasn't this young kid. I mean, are we even sure Spidey's gone through puberty now at this point? Because like this thing just looks so young, and that's. And I wasn't necessarily trying to make a joke, but it's like this isn't the Spider-Man that the story kind of calls for.
Yeah, for real. Yeah. Because given that it's not in a high school environment and stuff like that, like them trying to have more of a likeness towards Tom Holland kind of screws the whole thing up because what are we doing? Another origin story? Because the story in Spider-Man was nowhere close to an origin story. It may have been an origin story for Doc Octopus, but it wasn't an origin story for Peter Parker.
And that was the beautiful thing about it, was they respected Spider-Man fans, similar in how Into the Spider-Verse did too, where it's like, hey, we know we've told this origin story about 1 million times now. Mm-hmm. Fuck it. Here it is.
For real.
Yeah, it's very weird. Just the age difference making it. If anything, they should have made him look like the Spider-Man from the Spider-Verse.
Right.
Give him a little stubble, Give him a little.
right.
Yeah.
Give him some
Give
age.
him a little belly.
Give me the disheveled Peter Parker.
Yeah. But now he looks as young as Miles Morales, and that kind of like throws the whole thing off.
Exactly. Yeah. It does.
He's supposed to be Miles Morales' mentor.
Mm-hmm.
He's supposed to be that role model.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, are you older than me?
Now he's like, hey, Miles,
it's like they're the same age.
Dumpster.
Yeah, you want to go smoke a joint, man?
All right, so via Twitter, Insomniac creative director Brian Intihar, I think I pronounced that correctly, tweeted a statement about the recasting to provide fans a few more details about the studio's decision, stating that there was a need to deliver a more even, believable-looking character. More even, believable-looking characters for the remastered PS5 game. Finding a better facial match for actor Yuri Lowenthal, who I guess was
I completely disagree with that whole line that he just says there, right there.
Yeah. Hold on,
Yuri voiced Peter Parker in the game, yeah.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, exactly. I was like, he voiced it. Oh wait, hold on. Let me finish the statement. Finding a better facial match for actor Yuri Lowenthal, whom we all love as Peter, was a necessity for the developers. Those are Brian's words. We care as much about this character as your attachment to him. So please know we didn't make this decision or change lightly. As we did throughout the development of Marvel Spider-Man, we will continue to read your comments, listen, and always be looking for ways to improve every facet of the game. At the same time, I hope you can trust us that this decision is what we feel is best for the future of the franchise and for our upcoming goals for this beloved Marvel character. Okay, that statement right there just lets me know that they were trying to line this up more with the MCU, with the MCU look for Spider-Man. That line right there.
How much do we believe that maybe Marvel played a factor in this more than Insomniac? Because Marvel does love to have control, right? And with the Avengers eventually, or getting Spider-Man, I think, in 2 months or something like that, were they trying to go with like maybe a Peter Parker that was similar to what Square Enix was building? Like they'll never come out and say that, but like until we see the Spider-Man model for that, we'll never be able to fully grasp it. But like, because it is kind of weird that these Marvel games aren't tied together in a traditional MCU fashion, but
well, my thing is, it still just does not make absolute sense at the end of the day. Like they wasted so much. And in all honesty, let's be serious. They wasted so much resources and probably money on this that, in all honesty, they probably could have put a little more content into Miles Morales instead of wasting all this time on a game that's already out and done, and people just want to play to get the experience.
Exactly. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
They could have added more backpacks. They could have added more photography spots. They could have added more J. Jonah Jameson podcast moments, because those are all phenomenal in the game. Like a quick mechanic thing that they could have fixed was they could have fixed Black Cat looks very what's the best way? She's kind of sticky in her movements, like especially when she's using her grappling hook. Like it's a very stiff movement on her. There's small mechanical things like that I feel like could have been better spent for time.
They can make those puddles look better.
Yeah, man, puddle gate. Let's bring that back.
Okay, so right now in the chat, Ed asked, why did people make it a big deal with this new face? Will anyone replay this whole game when it hits PS5? There's a lot of people who are going to replay it because like the game itself, like the remastering process and all that stuff, it's using the technology of the PlayStation. So the PS5, I mean, so if people really want to get the immersive experience and re-experience the game, they're going to play it. So I still don't understand. Like I said, They could have used more of the resources towards development of that game, if not Miles Morales, But I don't make the video game, so I can't make the decisions for these guys. I can make the suggestions as a consumer and a fan, but I can't turn around and make the video game for them.
Do you think this is Insomniac, or do you think this is Disney/Sony saying, "Hey, we want you"?
This is
we want it to
probably
look more like Tom Holland.
This is probably Disney/Sony. It might be, but it just throws a whole wrench in the whole thing, because why didn't they do that from the start then, with the original game?
Because Tom Holland, but I get it. This game was pretty well. Okay, this game came out 18?
Yeah.
2018.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which would have already been, so that would have been the same year as Infinity War. So Spider-Man was already well versed in, like Tom Holland's Spider-Man was already well versed. He was already in 2 movies at that point. Yeah, this just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. So hold on. Ed's saying so they're going to buy this game another time to do that. Hold on. How many times do people double dip? Ed actually asked that question. How many times do people double dip?
Ed, I am 100% buying the $70 version so that I can replay this game because I love it so much. This will be my 4th time playing it. And I can't wait.
Just so you guys know, I'm already upgrading my television for this PlayStation 5.
Yes.
I'm already upgrading my television. I'm
pretty sure it's a brand new trophy list, so I can get the platinum trophy in Spider-Man again, and I'm all for that.
Is this with New Game Plus and with the DLC? Because I couldn't remember on the remaster. Did they say specifically?
I'm sure
the DLC?
It has to be.
I'm
sure it would have.
I didn't see anything for that.
No.
It is including the DLC. It is including the Black Cat DLC and the other stuff. It is including that.
Because I will say this: if we don't count Lost Legacy, the Black Cat DLC is the best DLC of the PS4, in my opinion. That story is just phenomenal.
I think Control, I see in the chat, I think Control got more hell because they're charging full price.
They did, they did, hold on. They did some fuckery with the whole free upgrade thing. It's like you're not getting. As a matter of fact, we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about it a little bit. We're going to talk about it a little bit. 505 did some. 505 created like one of those heinous acts that we don't like developers to do.
Yeah,
we'll talk. Yeah, that's actually coming up a little bit later in one of the segments. Ultimately, my whole take is, it's not going to really ruin the experience for me. I've already played and beat Spider-Man. It's not going to ruin the experience. I'm going to play it again because I want to see how this thing goes. I also want to see how it interacts with the DualSense controller. I am really interested about that. I want to see if they got the same innovations that they're going with Miles Morales for the controller schemes and all that stuff. And so, yeah, ultimately, I am going to play the game. I am going to be like, what the hell? Whenever I see Peter Parker's face.
Like, who was that?
And it may be different, like when I play this probably a year or 2 from now, because I don't know if I'll play it right when PS5 comes out, because there'll be so many other games. If I don't see the side by side Peter Parker, I may not even think about it. I'd be there.
I mean, there are comparison videos out there, and I'm not sure if the comparison videos like someone was just using really low tech or something, because they actually made this game look worse than what it is, and I'm like, come on, with how strong the technology is for PlayStation, I'm gonna take this comparison video with a grain of salt, because like because it's like you might as well play the PS4 version, but I don't feel like Sony and Insomniac, I don't feel like they would make that mistake and screw the game up. All right. Any parting thoughts on Spider-Man? Like, I mean, I think we're all in agreement. We're gonna play it, right? We're gonna play it.
I'm playing it.
Yeah, it's happening.
Like I said, it's just gonna be a big WTF moment every time we see Peter Parker's face.
Are you gonna play it before Miles Morales though?
Hell no.
You see, I sound like
Hell no.
I am.
You are?
I'm gonna, because
you're gonna keep canon. You're gonna keep canon consistent.
I could probably run if depending on the difficulty, I could probably platinum Spider-Man in 25, 30 hours. I don't think that'd be that hard.
Damn.
30 hours is probably it's not a hard platinum, and 30 hours is probably realistic. And I'm taking the whole week of the PS5 launch off. So it's like I could probably knock that out in like the first 3 days, and then play Spider-Man the rest of it, or Miles Morales the rest of it.
Okay, all right.
Platinum that.
All right, pretty good. Okay. All right. Well then, speaking of remastered games, actually, no. We'll come back to that one because that's on our big segment. Let's see. So the October 2020 PlayStation Plus games are live now, and featured are Need for Speed Payback and is it Vampire or Vampire? Vampire. That's what I thought. I've heard a couple people say Vampire on their YouTube videos, and I was like, That doesn't sound right, especially with the way with the way it is. But yeah, that's this month's free games for PlayStation for all PlayStation Plus current PlayStation Plus members right now. So check out the PlayStation blog, get some details on the games. But have you guys played any of those games? Need for Speed is one of those hit or miss franchises for me. So I mean, I want to say like the last Need for Speed game I like went on my way to play was Underground.
Oh, nice. It's a good game though.
Yeah.
Vampire is severely underrated, and if you like a good horror game, it's not my top 10 horror game of all time, but it's pretty damn good. It's a lot better than people give it credit for.
I got Vampire off the Humble Bundle, so for my Humble Bundle subscription. So yeah, it's eventually going to get played.
Nellie, if you would want to, I would love to do if you and I want to review this thing together, I would love to do that because I think you would have. I think you're going to like this game as much as I did.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Heck yeah,
I keep you in mind when I play it.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. Now the reason why I decided to bring this one up though is this the last hurrah for PlayStation 4 as far as like the free games because PlayStation Plus is shifting directions when PS5 comes out.
Well, I mean, it's gonna have the PlayStation Plus collection, yeah. November's. I think we're getting a state of play here soon because there's a lot of questions we don't have answered.
Do you think that November PlayStation Plus lineup will be like Horizon and another big title, and then they'll go on the PlayStation Plus collection?
See, Horizon, no, just because it's still selling really good on PC. It's still
that doesn't matter for PlayStation though.
Well, but it does though in the sense of
I thought Horizon was already free at one point on PlayStation Plus. I thought it was. Yeah. It wasn't? Okay.
No,
okay.
It's never been free on there. It could be one of those things though where like I really think Concrete Genie's getting a free version at some point.
Oh, I can't wait.
I do. It's a perfect, like I said, it's so weirdly unique that it'd be so cool if it was a PlayStation Plus game, and I think people would like that. But no, Horizon probably won't be a free game at least until next year. Now, if it's the month before Forbidden West comes out, I could see that.
That's a possibility.
That's a possibility, but man, that's even a risk there because it's Guerrilla, and Guerrilla doesn't tend to work well with free stuff. Just ask Killzone players. You have to pay for freaking everything on those games.
Well, I'm glad you guys talked about the PlayStation Plus collection for PS5 because that kind of teases up the next topic here. Everybody's wondering like what PS4 games existing right now are going to get free upgrades for PS5. So we have a list of every confirmed free upgrades so far. Now, some of them have caveats. So let's break this down. With the PS5 release looming even closer, ever closer, and a lot of people are wondering about the plans for free upgrades of PS4 games for the PS5. In comparison to Microsoft's strategy for game upgrades from the Xbox One to Xbox Series S or X, depending on which one you get, Xbox has a very, they basically let's be real. Microsoft jumped across the fence, punched Sony in the nose, and jumped back over the fence. That's really what they did because smart delivery, man. When I first saw the thing about smart delivery, I was like, smart delivery, what's that? And then when I did the research, I was like, oh man, this is gonna be big. Yeah. So I mean, kudos to Microsoft with the smart delivery system. Basically, it's making the gamers feel like their money is validated in a way, and I appreciate that. Sony's approach is significantly different, though. The plan basically leaves it mostly up to third-party developers to provide patches for the current gen games. Now, before I start on the list, what are your guys' opinions about that?
It makes it sound more complicated. Whereas Xbox is like, "Yep, we got it. We got you covered. You're gonna be fine." Whereas this is like, all right, every game is gonna be different now. It's gonna have a different story attached to it. It makes it a little disturbing.
Do you think Sony might have caught their pants down on this?
I think sometimes you could do too much and mess up a good thing that really doesn't need fixing.
Yeah.
So I think that's what's happening right now, but I'm gonna just sit back.
I just don't think they care. I don't think they care.
It's kind of weird though, because the last few console generations, what's usually happened is games that come out right at the end of the of a console cycle, we basically have to shill out the money and spend 50, 60, 70 bucks for the next next gen console version. Mm-hmm. Typically that's what it is. But Microsoft got ahead of the curve because they're like, you know what, every game that we have featured, we're going to try to make sure you get it for free on the upgraded system. You know, they're not making 100% guarantees that every game that hits the Xbox library is going to do that, but they're saying right now most of the games that are coming out in this crossroads of new systems is basically we will try to accommodate you as much as possible and make them free. And whatever they have going on with the third-party developers and all that stuff, you know, hey man, like maybe Microsoft is teeing up to be the winner if there's a console war this time. Because we did say 2 shows ago that there's no such thing as a console war anymore, but I mean, it feels like they're teeing up to be the big winners for this next generation coming up. Just on this alone, like, you know, they're taking, you know, games as a service means something different, you know, from what I'm about to say, but they're making games as a service like an actual beneficial thing right now, because like you spend your money for your game one time, you can play it on the next system, you can play it everywhere else. And you know, Sony's just like, we'll wait and see. You know, that's the way I feel about it.
Yeah, I think they just sitting back trying to see what's going on with the competition, but again, you're taking the big risk.
Well, you know, it's funny though. Sony's not always known as the wait and see company. Sony usually innovates a lot. So it's kind of weird that it seems like they've kind of been waiting and seeing this particular cycle. You know, but then again, we're not Sony, so we don't know what they've got up their sleeve. They might turn around and say something ridiculous, you know, tomorrow morning by the time we wrap the show.
I think Sony was more worried about let's get the exclusives. Let's get that first 2 years of PlayStation looking really, really good. Let's get your Ragnarok. Let's get your Forbidden West. Let's get you a new Ratchet and Clank game. Let's get you those. And I think PlayStation was worried about their exclusives, as I think they kind of should be, because that's their market. And let's give you the best single player game. Xbox has just been killing it on every front. It's not even a question.
All right, so the games are slated for free upgrades right now that we know of: Borderlands 3, Cyberpunk 2077, The Witcher 3, go figure, Destiny 2, Dirt 5, Doom Eternal, Horizon Forbidden West. I didn't know there was a PS4 release coming in that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I thought that was a straight PS5.
Yep.
Sackboy Big Adventure.
I'm getting it.
Marvel's The Avengers, Spider-Man Miles Morales. Okay, now the next few games I'm going to talk about, there are situations as far as how you're going to get your free upgrade. And I'm going to start with Hitman 3. Hitman 3, the only way you're getting a free upgrade of that is if you got the digital edition. So if you bought the PS4, the physical copy on disc, you will not be eligible for the free upgrade on that. So just be aware of that. And then there's other games that are featured for free upgrades, but they have some weird complications and restrictions. We started talking about Control. Basically, Control will only be free through an upgrade if you buy the Control Ultimate Edition. Even if you own the PS4 version and all the corresponding DLC, you're not going to be entitled to the free upgrade. Now, just to put this whole thing to bed, 505 Games infamously said a while back that it was technically impossible for current gen owners to get the free upgrade, and then they blunderingly upgraded some PS4 editions. So yeah, and you know they basically broke one of those one of the main commandments, you know, that developers and gamers, you know, for the relationship of developers and gamers, you never say something that's going to be so detrimental to the ecosystem and then do the exact opposite. Yeah. That is the number one way to get distrust and basically become EA.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a great point right there. I can't disagree.
That's why my eyes got big. Like, huh? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, you know, maybe somebody misspoke. You know, I can't speak for people, Maybe someone misspoke when they thought that was a deal, but the fact that somewhere behind the veil, behind the green curtain, some PS4 editions got upgraded, that probably slapped a ton of people in the face. And Control is a good game. It's had some tech issues, through its development cycle, and of course through its life once it hit the shelves and stuff like that. But Control is a great game, and an easy way to have won over some of that faith is just to hey, free upgrade.
Yeah.
But like I said, I can't tell developers what to do. I can't tell publishers what to do.
We had to see what, because I was I'm with you on this one though. I was a little salty about that Control thing, that Control news. So
yeah, a lot of people were, and you know what? I just sat back and bought the PC version.
Yeah.
I played the Ultimate Edition no matter what. All right, moving on with that segment though. Now, EA of course has revealed EA, being EA that they are, has revealed that their games will get a free next gen upgrades, but there is a time limit. So games like FIFA 21, games like Madden 21. You can get the free upgrade while the game is still active. So basically, when FIFA 22 comes out or Madden 22 comes out, no more free upgrades. So pick and choose how you're going to do this, gamers. Like I know this. FIFA and Madden are their top sports games. So anybody that's even remotely got it on PlayStation 4 needs to just go ahead. As soon as you set your PlayStation 5 up, go ahead and redeem your upgrade. Don't be one of those guys that waits till the last minute.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Although most of them will buy 22 anyways.
Yeah.
They are.
By
yeah.
the time the 22 comes out, I'll buy that anyways.
Even with as many glitches as 21 had.
Dude, I don't know. I might not even buy Madden 21. I'm not gonna lie.
It's bad.
That's like a whole other story.
It's
but
bad.
I don't
All
play
right.
sports. So the last sports game I played was NBA Live back in '98, I think.
That's
that's a good time to stop.
the last,
He
All
goes
with the
down
shit.
downhill.
All with the shit when the PlayStation came out. Back
the
then in
last
60.
the last sports game I played was NCAA 14.
Oh, that's a great one.
Or
man.
wait, I think
Oh.
I'm mine because I played Knockout Kings too. I mean, well, that's different. But anyway, go ahead.
14 is actually like worth a lot of money if you have it on PS3 or Xbox 360 because they still update the rosters for that thing.
We're for real.
Yeah, there's people that'll update the rosters every year for college football.
Oh, that's wild.
God bless that. And they'll sell it on like a drive for like $40. You pay $40 and you can get the drive. I think that's how they did it.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. All right, let's see. NBA 2K21. PS4 owners of that game can get access to the free next gen version, but only if you buy the NBA 2K21 Mamba Forever Edition.
It's called the
So-
Ultimate Edition. I get it, but come on.
That's the $100 version, I think.
That's the $100 version.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
But that's kind of like if you're into the like my player mode and if you're into like, the Ultimate Team, it comes with a ton of perks for that stuff. But
Yeah.
I don't understand why Ultimate Team is such a huge hit. I've tried to get into it.
Well, with NBA 2K, it's mostly about the my player stuff. But with the Ultimate Team, like on Madden, I don't like it. Like, this is not a straightforward game. I don't want to play these arcade versions and collect cards. No, thank you. I'm good.
I don't want to do these weird challenges. Just let me play my style.
Yeah, just let me play a game. Let me play a sim game like you bought the rights to.
All right. Also on the list, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Now, this game, there's some hoop jumping you have to do for this one. To get the PlayStation 5 version, you'll have to purchase the cross-gen bundle, which comes with both PS4 and PS5 versions. So, in all seriousness, just if you want to do it like that, just spend the $70.
Yeah. Not surprised that Activision is giving you loopholes to jump through.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course. All right. And lastly, in a bit of good news for this whole upgrades, Ubisoft has announced that all Ubisoft titles will be getting free upgrades to next gen. So that is some wonderful news right there. This also includes Immortals Phoenix Rising, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and Watch Dogs Legion. notice how they put Watch Dogs Legion last because apparently like the whole rollout is getting really lukewarm on that game.
Yeah.
My roommates asked me last night. One of my roommates asked me last night. My other gamer roommate, he was like, what do you think about Watch Dogs Legion? I was like, I'll see what happens when it goes on sale.
Yeah, me too. I was excited because I was like, yeah, I'm about Watch Dogs Legion. I'm getting it the first day. And I'm like, I kind of feel like that storyline is gonna be all over the place right now, but we'll see.
All right, and for you guys out there in the chat, I have updated some of the links for some of the stories that we've done so far. The news about the PS4 to PS5 upgrades comes to us from techstomper.com, so go ahead and check that link out. Also, go back and check out the links for the Spider-Man 4K Spider-Man Remastered 4K PS5 trailer, as well as the whole breakdown of the Peter Parker's face.
Can I say one game that's weird to not be here is Crash Bandicoot. To not be on this list, I get it. That game is not going to be like a continuation or anything like that. But like, wouldn't the PS5 version, especially with the visual stuff that they're doing in this game, wouldn't that make sense?
It would.
It would.
Well, I mean, this is just the list so far. I mean,
yeah.
You know, who knows? Like, in all honesty, I'm not. Maybe it's just because I'm old school gamer. Like I was already like, if I really want this game bad enough, I'll just buy it again for the PlayStation 5. So like I'm actually happy that some games are getting free upgrades, whereas damn near everything on Xbox is getting a free upgrade.
I'm gonna throw you an idea. Mm-hmm. What if they bundled the Insane Trilogy with Crash Team Racing?
Oh my
for
God.
$50 on PlayStation 5?
Oh my God.
I would buy that.
Yeah.
I hate Crash Team
Yes.
Racing.
Yes.
The remake.
Yeah.
I would totally buy that.
Huh. Wouldn't surprise me.
All right. I'm trying to think. Because Logan brings up Crash 4. Is there a game that's out right now that that any of us are hoping gets a free upgrade?
I think it's already been talked about. Squadrons.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to play Squadrons on PS5.
Uh-huh.
I have to sit and think about that one.
I always take a free upgrade on Skyrim. Why not? If it'll be free.
Todd Howard, like, you thought we couldn't do it again. Suck it.
BioShock would be cool to have another upgrade. PC version.
You think?
Oh yes.
Todd Howard changes the Bethesda contract with Microsoft too. It's just Skyrim. He's like, I just sold it for $7 billion.
You think The Last of Us 2 is going to happen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think it's going to be free? I know they're going to remaster it.
It's not going to be free. $30, $40.
Okay. Yeah. Oh well, free isn't always free, boys and girls. Free isn't always free.
Actually, I wonder if they'll do an upgrade on Last of Us 2 and they'll add the multiplayer.
Like they did the first one?
Ooh. Well, like
they'll probably be like, hey, $20-$30, you get the free upgrade and you get a free upgrade with it, but you get the multiplayer.
Ed mentioned Ghost of Tsushima. It's too early to tell on that one. Given that, well, hold on, because we got Ghost of Tsushima news bit in a little bit. Let's see. Speaking of,
they're not mentioning Days Gone at all.
Yeah,
Days Gone's that weird one. No, Days Gone's on the
it's on the PlayStation Plus collection.
Yeah, but there's nothing about an update or anything.
Yeah,
of scale.
You gotta think they're probably working on Days Gone too. That game is getting.
I think they are.
I don't know.
I know it didn't sell well. It didn't sell well, but like PlayStation hyped that game up quite a bit.
That was what was that? That's Sony Bend, right?
Yeah.
Sony actually puts a lot of faith in Bend Studio. And I'm not saying Bend Studio is a bad studio for them. Sony puts a lot of faith in them.
But I want to say that game got rushed, and Sony knew that they had rushed that one. Of like, they didn't have a game for because that came out spring of 2018. They didn't have.
Wasn't it pushed back a few times as well?
Yeah, it was pushed back twice. I remember because it was supposed to be the same launch window as Horizon in 2017. Then it got pushed to summer of 17. Then it got pushed all the way to spring. And people thought that was just because they didn't have a great game for spring. But then, no, they would have had God of War.
I think they were just ready to put it out because it had been in development for so long. Because the last game they made was Golden Abyss.
Yeah.
So it was like 8 years.
Yeah, that has been a while.
They were working on that game.
Yeah.
Golden Abyss? The Uncharted Golden Abyss?
Uncharted, yes.
Yeah, they
Which
made
was
Golden
Vita,
Abyss,
yeah.
and then they made Days Gone. Those are the
Which
two
was-
games.
which
they
was-
made.
What? Okay, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what, were they just on loan to other studios? Because I'm pretty sure they weren't just sitting on their hands like the entire 8-year gap. Or there's no way in hell they were doing 8 years to develop Days Gone, because I mean
Maybe it wasn't 8 years, but I think it may have been like 6 years. They were really just working on Days Gone.
But didn't they build that engine from scratch, though?
Yeah, I believe they did. Because I remember them showcasing it on the PlayStation Experience when they first revealed that, and they were saying it was using a whole new concept engine.
Because the zombie movement in that is really, really cool. They were getting I think the average body count was like 150, 200 moving parts that they were trying to get as like waves almost, which is really freaking cool to get built.
Dreams on
Really
PS5.
Oh yeah, Dreams on PS5.
Actually, is it going?
I feel like that's staying on PS4. I don't think it's gonna make movies. And the reason why I'm saying that is because like those games are kind of like RPG makers and stuff like that. You know, like they have a niche, and I don't think it has like the longevity to carry itself into the next console generation. They'll probably make a new game in the Dream series, but they're not going to just bring this one over.
Do you think some of the PS5 exclusives we'll get in this generation are going to be games that were made on PS4 Dreams originally? Like they found creators.
Whoa.
We don't even think about that. They have another studio possibly with all these Dreams makers. They'll be like, "Hey, you made a really cool idea. Come over here. We'll give you some."
Here, right?
You know,
wasn't Media Molecule like an indie studio, and Sony snatched them up and gave them some of the budget to make Little Big Planet?
I don't know what they did before Little Big Planet. I'll be honest.
LeRon, you're right on that. I'm almost positive.
Yeah, I believe it was. I mean, because Little Big Planet. I mean, of course, like what we got was the most polished version of the game, and it was a fun game. But like, if you look at the skeleton in that game, it looked like it was trying to be an indie title.
Yeah.
Honestly, Little Big Planet reminds me of Tearaway.
Now, do we
Same
get
people.
Little Big? I know we're getting a Sackboy game, but do we get an actual Little Big Planet on PS5?
I think it's possible.
See, before Dreams, I would have said absolutely. With Dreams, it's like, man, I'd rather spend that time creating a Dreams. You'd have to have a pretty dang good story for me to want to play Little Big Planet.
Yeah, one of the people I follow on the Twitter, like he basically like he's been ringing Dreams to death. Like every time we look, he's got something he's sharing on Twitter that, you know, about the game in action and stuff. And it's like, man, he created this stuff, and like he even recreated like one whole Tomb Raider stage from the old school PlayStation 1 game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to check that out.
He was doing the damn thing. All right, so let's see. Looks like it's time for our big topic tonight, and this is what we've been waiting for here at Crossroads tonight. Because let me just go ahead and start the segment here, and then you guys will understand. We're now at the quote unquote end of the PlayStation 4 life cycle, and tonight the crew here at Crossroads is going to look back on the wonderful ride in gaming by celebrating the games. What are the 4 games of this generation? What 4 games of this generation are perfect 10s in our opinion? We've had an impressive catalog of games from the likes of Killzone Shadowfall, Infamous Second Son, Until Dawn, Journey, Gravity Rush, The Order 1866. Okay, that one's kind of questionable.
I'm still waiting on 1887.
I can't lie. I got one that's questionable, but like I said, I kind of broke the rules, so it's okay.
But I mean, we've also got Ratchet and Clank, God of War, Spider-Man, of course, Days Gone, Uncharted 4, and of course, The Last of Us 2. These games have all highlighted an illustrious 7-year console generation. So Here we go. We're about to sit down and we're about to declare which 4 games we feel are the 10s of this generation. Who wants to go first?
Sure. Okay. I say sure because I want to get mine out the way because I know I'm gonna get heat for one of these.
Oh boy. It's like Sir Mix-a-Lot. Oh my God, Becky.
Becky.
And it's the one I'm gonna start with.
Oh my God. Here we go.
And then I'm gonna just go on to like the top one.
Bring it. Let's go.
So this one isn't on the lore list, but I still enjoy playing it.
Mm-hmm.
And I picked Infamous First Light.
Okay.
And I know it's like a standalone game, but I was interested in the story.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like by me being still kind of still new to the series, it was a good intro for me because it put me in the mind of being like a superhero or X-Men. So that really just caught my attention and I really enjoyed the visuals of it.
Oh, by the way, before you move to your second game, we just some rules first. It's got to be either a first-party title for the PlayStation PS4 console, or it has to have had a timed release where it came out first on the PlayStation before it got to the other systems. Okay.
Cool.
Keep going.
All right. So the second one I chose was Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I
that
love
was a great game.
Switch. I played the first Final Fantasy, and to me, this was a legit remake because even though if you haven't played the first Final Fantasy game, I feel like you can still jump on board and not feel lost.
Yeah.
And again, it's a legit remake, so visuals are strong, storyline strong, characters. And I've been wishing for a whole Final Fantasy game where I have like real time game action.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And this was it. I finally got my wish. I thought they would never do it. I got tired of standing there taking hits.
Wait, are you going? Your list? You're going from bottom to top, or are you just naming them?
I'm just naming them.
Okay.
On the lower part of the list was Infamous though.
Okay.
Next game I chose was Uncharted: The Lost Legacy because I felt like it was a good closeout to Nathan Drake's story.
Mm-hmm.
I did like the fact that I felt like I was always on the edge of my seat because I really like that anxiety feel. That's like a good feeling to me. So I like that hopeless feeling. It still had the same combat, still good visuals, legit story, 2 strong female leads. So, I'm crazy about a female lead. And the last game that I chose was Detroit Become Human because I actually connected with the characters. Like, I love the butterfly effect to the game. It talked about real life events. I shedded tears, and it's a game that I can just go back and play over and over again.
Yeah.
I gotta ask you a question. Which character did you latch on to the most? Was it Marcus, Kara, or Connor?
I put it in order as Connor, Kara, and Marcus.
Oh, I love it. Because that's how I would have did it too.
So that's me.
All right. So Infamous First Light, Final Fantasy VII the remake, Uncharted Lost Legacy, Detroit Become Human. All right. Okay. I am keeping tally because there's a reason why I'm keeping tally on this. We will find out. All right. Who's next? Who wants to go next?
Well, I have all 4 of my games are completely different. So I like this. Now, I haven't played Final Fantasy VII yet, the remake, though. And I'm very excited to play that, though. Not really in any order. Mm-hmm. I have God of War.
Okay.
Because I feel like out of all the third-party action games that Sony does, that PlayStation does, this was the best one as far as just combat, story, graphics, everything, and everything together. It really did a franchise that needed a little more love and gave it that. Because, God of War 1, 2, and 3, which I love those games, but they're always like, Yeah, big, strong guy, violent game, have sex with women, all this kind of stuff. And that's all it really was boiled down to. It was the game that my mom walked in on.
When you were doing the circle
move.
Play
the circle move.
No.
So, I mean that.
How bad of a punishment did you get?
What's
knocking
funny
the
is
candle off the
what's
table.
funny is she bought me the game and she just didn't know. So I just said, I don't know what I'm doing.
The game had an 8 rating.
Oh, my mom didn't pay attention. She bought me so many M-rated games before she realized what M meant. My mom just did not pay attention. I played Silent Hill 2 when I was 9. So
Yes.
it's very, and that's why I'm the messed up person that I am. I'm just letting you know.
You're one of those kids that made me feel like an asshole at GameStop. Because I would tell the parents every time, like, "Ma'am, do you know what this game is about?"
Oh yeah. Well, that was the one that finally broke her. Was there's a game, and this is how stupid of a kid I was. She got me this game. She got me an Atari Anthology collection, which I was excited about. PS2. But then she got me another arcade. I don't know what it was called, but it was a rated M arcade.
Rated M arcade game?
Yeah, it had 10 arcade games on it. And I was like, I didn't know what this was. I was like, I don't want this. I was just kind of like, I don't want this. So I was like, hey, Mom, this game's rated M. And she's like, what does that mean?
You gave yourself up.
I gave myself up. And then she never bought me another rated M game after that. And I had to basically sneak them from friends and all that stuff afterwards. But, yeah. But anyway, God of War, the new one, is just completely just changed it, made it more of a touching story, let people connect with Kratos more, almost as much as they did like Joel or, and characters that they do now. The second one is Resogun, which is one of the first games that was on the PS4.
It was also one of the first freebies for the PlayStation Plus.
And it's one of the best arcade, if you like arcade side scroller shooters. It's really, really good. They also made Alienation, which I almost put on this list, but I gave Resogun the little bit of an edge because Alienation did piss me off a lot of time.
Side note: the Resogun team is also behind that upcoming game that I'm excited about, Returner.
Yeah. They are fantastic. Like, I love their games. Every time they come out with a game, I get excited for it. I didn't play the last one. The what was it? Was it Neck Machina or something along those lines?
I don't know on that one.
Something along those lines. And then they were going to make a Battle Royale game, and that got canned really quickly. And they're like, no, we need you to do what you guys do. But then,
let's see, Housemark. What's the game? Yeah. Okay, so let's see, Stardust, Super Stardust.
Machina?
No.
Yeah.
Next Machina, NEX Machina.
Yeah, I never played that one. That was the one I missed.
Yeah, and Returnal. Returnal is their first PS5 game.
Yeah, and Returnal looks dope.
Yeah.
Looks really good. Mm-hmm. And then Bloodborne, which is the first Souls game I ever played. Because I never played Demon Souls or Dark Souls. My friend was like really, really good at Dark Souls and Demon Souls games that I worked with, and he was telling me like Bloodborne is going to be the best game. Like I'm telling you right now, it's better than every Dark Souls game, Demon Souls game. I was like, okay, and he had alpha access, so he invited me over to play at his house. And I was like, this game's cool. I suck at it, but this game's cool. And then, of course, when I bring it home day one, I get in there and you don't have a weapon and you're fighting a wolf at the very beginning, and he just tears the shit out of you.
I remember that.
No weapon at all. And I was like, is this really the game? Because this is gonna not go well. And then, of course, I just love the way it looks. It's one of the prettiest games, even though it's really disgusting at the same time. So I love Bloodborne. And then Ratchet & Clank. Ratchet and Clank is one of my favorite series of all time. I played every one of them except the game that was on BlackBerry. I never played that one.
Wait, there's a BlackBerry Ratchet and
look
Clank?
it up. There's a game, Ratchet and Clank game on BlackBerry.
Oh my
I never
God.
played that one. But I absolutely love this one. It had the same. It did what the first game did, but made it look better. Of course, made it look like a freaking Pixar movie, and then it also just changed the story a little bit to where it just made it more likable. And I don't know if any of you all saw the Ratchet and Clank movie, but
I saw it.
I saw it in theaters because I was a sucker.
Oh, you went to the theater and saw it.
I went to the theater and
Tell
saw
me
it.
you went to like a midnight release.
I don't know if that was possible, but I dragged two of my friends to go with me, and I said, I'm going to tell you right now, this movie's probably going to suck. This movie's probably going to suck. But I just had to go support because I was so excited. I love Ratchet and Clank, and so I went there, and they're like, yeah, that movie sucked. And I was like, yeah, it kind of did, but, the game's really good. The game is really good. Sylvester Stallone was in it.
Yes.
Oh God.
I remember that movie. Shoot,
Yeah.
I can't remember. I want to say there was something going on, and back when the whole movie store was still a thing on PlayStation, I want to say I saw it that way for free. They had it for free for like a weekend, and I saw it then. Yeah, yeah, but man, you're an awesome person for going to see it in theater.
Yeah.
Like, oh
Yeah.
God.
Like I didn't see Sonic in theater. I didn't see, any of these other video game movies in theater, Assassin's Creed, but I went and saw Ratchet and Clank in theater. I was like, let's go.
Honestly, I would be more prone to see Ratchet and Clank in theater because it's a CGI movie versus what they try to do with Sonic, for example, and stuff like that, even though I am going to be watching the Monster Hunter movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no argument there.
But it feels like that's in the right hands.
Yeah.
It feels like it's in the right hands.
Yeah. All right, let's see. So let's recap. God of War, Gun, Bloodborne, and Ratchet and Clank.
Yep.
All right.
Good luck.
Man, Ratchet and Clank, the nostalgia factor on that one. As a matter of fact, as a matter of fact, let me go ahead and go next, and I'll leave it up to you, Logan, to bring it up the rear. All right, so for my 4 games, I'm going to start with and this is in no particular order. Like I just wrote these down as they came to me. God of War, for sure, and basically it's the same thing that Austin said. There was just more heart in the story, It was a different feel this time, Kratos wasn't just some mad motherfucker, trying to destroy everything and kill society and stuff like that. Kratos' story did continue in a new and unique way. And the fact that he's not technically a family man, but he's a father, and just his whole journey with his son Atreus, like that right there. If you're moved anywhere by stories and stuff like that, like God of War brings it to you and stuff like that, and it's a damn phenomenal action game in the process. I can't speak enough of it. It wasn't one of those button master games that was trying to be a clone of Devil May Cry, because in all honesty, the original God of War games were clones of Devil May Cry. They were trying to like grab that lightning while they had it. So God of War was the first one. Spider-Man. I really enjoyed that game. I didn't get platinum on it, but that was one of those games where I spent so much time just going through there trying to unlock all his freaking abilities and all that stuff, going finding all them freaking backpacks and all this stuff. And another game, like I'm a sucker for story-driven games, and I didn't know if I was actually going to like Spider-Man until I saw like the game in action, and then I didn't realize I was going to love Spider-Man until like they had just that story. Playing that game and going through the story and everything, and of course, that ending. Like, I mean, like if you don't have a heart if you didn't feel something at the end of that game.
Freaking monster.
Yeah. My next game is Detroit Become Human. And I am a sucker for these. I am a sucker for these games. In all honesty, I played Heavy Rain. I played Indigo Prophecy. I did not play that one game, Beyond Two Souls.
Two Souls.
Yeah.
Two Souls, yeah.
Yeah. But Detroit, I love cyberpunk stuff. And so when I remember seeing the original concept video of it back when it was looking like it was going to be an early PS3 game, and it took me a while to realize that the game that they unveiled like 7 years later was Detroit Become Human, but seeing all the stuff in action and knowing, of course, it's another one of those choose your own adventure type games, but it's done in this day in that whole vein of how they do all their games. I was like, yes, and just taking control of different characters. Now I will admit one thing. Like, I played the game the same way I played Heavy Rain. So I was definitely afraid of like losing, like a character losing a life. If I made a mistake, I reset the save.
Yep.
Yes.
Even though I know now there were certain characters in the game that they could die as many times as they wanted to, and it was part of the experience.
Yeah.
But Detroit Become Human, that's another one too. Like, like depending on the ending, and me and my friend, like, the one thing I loved was as you complete a chapter, you got the flow chart, and then you can see what the rest of the world was doing versus what your friends were doing. And me and my friends, we had so many conversations about certain things because my friend, she didn't know that you could save everybody on the rooftop at the very beginning, and you didn't necessarily have to sacrifice your own life to do it. She said every time she played it, like he toppled off the roof. And I was like, no. I got it on the first try. And my final game for this list, and I had to wrestle with this one too, because I'm an Uncharted fan. I love the Uncharted series. Uncharted Drake's Fortune is why I bought a PS3. So, of course, when I knew the fourth game was coming to PS4, there was no way I was not going to get a PS4. But the Uncharted game that actually did it for me was Lost Legacy. Because it's like you got this teaser of Chloe in Uncharted 4, but then you get the full-fledged game of her. Even though technically this is I feel like this was supposed to be DLC that they just turned around and made a full-fledged game, but that's $40 well spent in my opinion. But man, I'm sorry, like teaming up Chloe and Nadine, that was that was perfect. That was perfect. It's like water and oil, but they work together. They work together so well. It's crazy. Yeah. And the story I feel was just not infinitely, like just a little more tighter than Uncharted 4 story. Uncharted 4 story was definitely about family and what's going on, but they're like, hey, we understand also, like we're used to playing Uncharted games where it's all about the adventure, and that's what Lost Legacy was.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. So that's God of War, Spider-Man, Detroit Become Human, and Uncharted Lost Legacy for me.
Question for
Good
you.
list. It's a great list.
Question for me. Go ahead.
Chloe or Nadine?
Because, okay, I love Chloe because she's voiced by Claudia Black. I love Chloe. But Nadine's introduction in Uncharted 4, where she whooped Drake's ass in that library, I'm sorry.
Dude, and I swear, Laura Bailey plays like the most badass characters.
Yes.
I love her.
Yes. And it was funny too, because like I remember the scene where Nadine and Drake were fighting, and I was like, man, Nate wasn't even being smug. He was like, I really hate that I have to fight you,
Right?
She whooped his ass. Yeah. So I mean, I hope if they're making future Uncharted games, I hope Nadine returns.
Yes, yeah. I hope so too.
All right, that's my 4. All right, Logan, you're up.
All right, so I am switching one from that I originally said. I had Bloodborne on this list, and I kind of was shuffling back and forth on it today, and I was like, a perfect 10 out of 10 to me is a game that I just couldn't put down. And unfortunately, with Dark Souls or with Souls games, I can't play those games for more than like 2 or 3 hours at a time, just because they're tricky games, they're hard games. So
they're stressful.
I went with the game. So yeah, number 4 for me is a game that has a lot of character, and for pretty much the exact same reasons that LeRon just said, Lost Legacy makes my list, because Lost Legacy was put with a really difficult task of what does Uncharted look like without Nathan Drake? And how are gamers going to respond to that? And you wouldn't see this big of a change go over as smoothly as it did. But Lost Legacy was just, it had the heart, it had the action, it had everything you love about an Uncharted game without Nathan Drake. And I freaking love it. And it proved that this franchise has a lot more to go with it. As much as we love the Drake storyline and we love Sully and all that good stuff, it's like Lost Legacy proved that you don't have to have a male character who's just full of adventures and great stuff to make a great game. You can have an amazing storyline with whoever you put in there. Number 3 for me is, and I debated between 2 games on this one. I was debating between The Last of Us Part 2 and then the other exclusive that came out right after it. Ghost of Tsushima makes my list here because this is such a beautiful game. I mean, this is potentially my favorite open world of this generation. It's just a beautiful game, and when you look at the storyline, the combat, you can't put this game down. And it kind of has the Spider-Man effect where like you'll get hooked doing side missions and just exploring more than you'll get hooked on the main story. And that's not to say the story is bad, because the story is incredibly gripping, but like there's just so much to do in this world that it's like, dude, this is an almost perfect game. Number 2 is Horizon Zero Dawn. I love this.
You said game. that's your number 2?
That's my number 2.
Oh wow!
And Austin's probably heard me say this multiple times, because we every time we do like a ranking, it comes down to these 2 games, and Horizon ends up being 2 on my list for a long time because it's my personal favorite. But that's not to say it's going to be everybody's game. And so when I look at the number 1, I think of what's the overall best. I know Horizon doesn't hit everybody, but for me, it is a perfect game. It is the equivalent of, this is how a new IP should come out. This is how you should show an open world, create these new challenges, the ideas of cauldrons and all these different enemies and how you have to think. And you can't defeat one set of robots the same way you do another. You're constantly having to evolve your combat and evolve your character. It's incredible. And then you put that amazing soundtrack with that huge, beautiful open world and the best photo mode of this generation, and you get a great game. And number 1 is God of War. It's a perfect story. It is an absolutely perfect story because they were able to hit the heart and the soul of this father-son dynamic with Atreus and Kratos, but then they were also able to show the human side of Kratos with the whole Athena scene. I thought the Athena scene that's in this game is just one of the most powerful moments in the game, where she reminds him of his past and says, I'm not that guy anymore. I'm changing. I am this new version of Kratos. I'm Christopher freaking Judge. I'm gonna go get my blades of hell, and then I'm gonna be the best damn father and badass that I can be. So that's my list.
All while scolding the boy.
Oh, boy.
All right, so let's see. Uncharted Lost Legacy, Ghost of Tsushima, Horizon Zero Dawn, and God of War.
Yep.
All right. So, just to recap this real fast, we have Infamous First Light, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Uncharted Lost Legacy, Detroit Become Human, God of War, Gun, Bloodborne, Ratchet & Clank, Spider-Man, Ghost of Tsushima, and Horizon Zero Dawn. All right. So, now, I've been keeping a list of every game that the 4 of us have said, because if a game repeated itself and it got a certain number of repeats, this is going to be the Crossroads number 1, the top 10 of 10 game for PS4. And Uncharted Lost Legacy, those ladies brought it home. That's our 10. That's our perfect 10 game for Crossroads. Following up that was Detroit Become Human and then God of War. Now this is our selection of games. We are not pros. We feel like we are pro gamers, but we're not pros at the end of the day. But the fact that games that are kind of like a smaller version of a game compared to like a full-fledged game like God of War, that tells you something right there. The scope of the games industry changes, and sometimes the most epic adventure is not always the best adventure, even though, like Logan said, God of War is a perfect game. Yeah, but the crowd here has said Uncharted Lost Legacy is the game. So Naughty Dog, give us a sequel, a full game with these girls, and let's do this.
It could happen.
I think they will.
Yeah, I think so. I think so because basically a lot of players were more in tune to Lost Legacy than they were Uncharted 4. Not saying Uncharted 4 was a bad game, but there was just certain things about it that everyone's kind of tired of it with Uncharted.
Is Chloe and Nadine giving Laura a run for their money?
Mm-hmm.
Is Laura going to watch out?
I mean, isn't Laura's saga over right now for now, or is it going dormant again?
I mean, I don't know if they'll bring it back, but I know that trilogy is over. Pretty sure that was the last game for the trilogy.
Okay. So I feel like there are future Tomb Raider titles coming. As a matter of fact, what they've done with Tomb Raider, and this whole reboot has been phenomenal. Like, I mean, back in the day, you were either playing Resident Evil or you're playing Tomb Raider. Like, there was no such thing as someone that's playing both of them. So I'm gonna go ahead and pose the question to you guys out there in the audience. Hit us with 4 games that you think are perfect 10s in your opinion for this console generation. Definitely hit us up over at bossrushgames.com. Keep the chat going, or hit us up over at @PS_crossroads over on Twitter, and let's talk about it some more. We got a couple more segments tonight. Let's go ahead and break into Rumor Control. And actually, when we started this, it was technically a rumor, but now it's pretty much proven itself. It proved itself over the course of 13 hours of talking about it. Need for Speed Hot Pursuit is getting a remaster. So yeah, that rumor is pretty much, it was true. Yeah, Logan even called that one. Logan is like, oh, like this sounds like a rumor, but it's coming.
Happening, y'all.
Yeah,
that is the best freaking Need for Speed game ever.
Yeah. Well,
No.
Here we go. Let them have it. Let them have it.
All right. Let's go, bro. Hit me.
You're telling me Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, the PS3 Hot Pursuit, is the best Need for Speed game? That's the game they're remastering.
Hot Pursuit has had many different iterations. Let's actually take you back to Need for Speed 3, where Hot Pursuit was the first time Hot Pursuit even became part of Need for Speed.
Did you not hear what the remastering is? It's of the PS3 Hot Pursuit.
It's still the best game mode. It's still the best part of Need for Speed. Yes.
Being a cop and hitting other cars is the best part?
Yes.
Nah.
Because, okay, if I was just wanting to hit cars, I could play Burnout Takeover, which is a much better game.
It's way better.
This was the perfect night for me to make popcorn. This was the perfect night.
I get the popcorn.
No.
And it pops up on the thing.
How big of a bowl do you have?
That's a popcorn bowl, man. Everyone needs one.
That's not as big as I thought. That's not as big as I thought. My bad.
It's not the ginormous bucket of popcorn they charge you $14 for at the theater.
Oh God! Thank you, AMC. This is why you're going bankrupt.
AMC and Cinemark are hurting, but that
Regal's going out. Did you guys see that?
Regal's
going bankrupt.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I'm right up the street from one. No. Okay.
Yeah, Regal's going bankrupt.
I'm not gonna lie, I bought a bunch of AMC stock when they went bankrupt, and it went up, and then I sold. Sold.
All right. You guys,
All right
you guys said what you had to say about the remastering of Hot Pursuit.
It's not that big of a conversation. We can just.
I'm just saying, don't say it's the best Need for Speed game. Come on.
Okay, the best Need for Speed. Okay.
I feel like Underground was the best Need for Speed game.
Okay.
Underground 2.
Underground 2 kind of lost me when they started putting licensed music in.
Oh no, the licensed music is just, I don't know. That's what makes it for me.
Oh yeah. Cruising at night, listen to Riders on the Storm with Snoop Dogg.
Oh hell yeah, dude! That is one of my favorite songs ever. Snoop Dogg's version of Riders on the Storm, man. It kicks.
It was pretty good. Yeah.
Austin, I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this. If you had to pick between Burnout versus the Need for Speed series, which would you go with?
You don't even need to finish the question. It's Burnout. I will take a Burnout 3 remaster before I take anything else ever.
Yeah, because Need for Speed Underground, if we say that's the best Need for Speed game, is
Underground is better racing, but I just enjoy Burnout 3 more.
The music will take down, like when you have Sugar, We're Going Down Swinging, and Ocean Avenue. There was a lot of Yellow Card on that list too. That was a great playlist as well.
It had a different Fall Out Boy song though. It's Saturday.
Oh yeah, it's Saturday. My bad.
Yeah, I'm more of a Burnout guy myself. But that's neither here nor there. With the Need for Speed Remastered news coming out, Criterion wants you to reignite the pursuit once again. This game actually will be releasing on November 6th to PS4, Xbox, and the PC, and later on November 13th on the Switch. Touting this as the ultimate edition of the timeless racing experience, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit Remastered will feature crossplay, enhanced visuals, and more. Crossplay, that's a big deal. That is a big freaking deal. That's all I'm gonna say on that. So I'm adding that to you guys out there in the chat right now. Go ahead, check out the news release of that from EA, and also the YouTube trailer is also in the chat for you guys to check that out as well. All right, so it's almost time to wrap it up. We're doing good. We had a really heavy night tonight, and we're still like under set time. So I think we're doing great.
Yeah.
All right. So yes, we are.
Riders on the Storm.
Wait. Hell yeah. You know what? Hey.
Riders in the Storm.
Hey, Corey. Like put that song in as our outro.
Let's buy the licensing, man. That's
what never mind. We're gonna have to get some stream beats or something.
I'll just call Snoop. It'll be fun. Well, I'll call Martha. I'll call Martha Stewart.
Yeah, call Martha.
And she'll talk to Snoop.
Oh yeah. Make him them special brownies.
Make him special brownies.
I was watching a Gabriel Iglesias special the other day where he's like, so I go over to Snoop's house, man, and he rolls the just biggest, fattest joint I've ever seen. And my son Frankie's with me. He's like, "Oh, we gonna smoke that?" And he's like, "Oh hell no! Oh hell no!"
All right, so hey, we actually have a question tonight. Someone hit us up on Twitter. As a matter of fact, user @Hypecaster. He wants to know he wants the panel to give the PS5 launch day lineup a letter grade and explain ourselves if we must. I need to look that up. Actually, I should have had that ready. Do you guys remember for sure? I'm looking it up right now, but do you guys remember?
I know we got Miles Morales, Sackboy, Astro's Playroom, DMC5.
We got Godfall. We got Destruction All Stars. We got
Here we go.
Souls.
Here we go. Okay. PS5 game launch games. Astro's Playroom, Demon Souls, Destruction All Stars, Spider-Man Remastered, Miles Morales, Sackboy, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Cyberpunk. We'll call that launch game because they're coming out relatively one right after the other. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition, Destiny 2 Beyond Light, Godfall, Fortnite, Maneater. What's that?
Oh, that's the shark game. That's the
yes. Yes. NBA 2K21, Observer System Redux, The Pathless, and Watch Dogs Legion. I'm not going to include the PlayStation Plus collection launch titles because technically they are rehashes of previous gen games. So with those games, let's think about this. Let's do traditional letter grading. So A through F. How are you guys feeling about this?
The games, this is just me personally. The games that are saving it for me is Miles Morales, Cyberpunk, and Watch Dogs because I'm still anxious for Watch Dogs. So I'm gonna give it a B minus.
B minus.
No, can we do?
Okay. Here, let me put this so you guys can read over it real fast. I should have done that before while I was talking about it. There's the link. While Austin and Logan, while you guys are looking that over, I'll go ahead and I'll put 3 games. I'll pick out 3 games on this and give them my grade. The 3 games for me that are on this list are basically Miles Morales, Cyberpunk, even though technically I'm not getting it for PlayStation, I'll be getting it for the PC. So actually, knowing I'm getting it for PC, I'll toss that one out. So Cyberpunk, no, I'm sorry, Miles Morales. Well, shoot. When I do that, the only other ones left is Call of Duty. Which I might get that for PC. I might get that for PC also. Oh man, I'm starting to sound like the bad guy now. So let me just go ahead and give the letter grade for this. Based on all those games that we named off there just now, I'm gonna give this a B plus because in all seriousness, I can't remember what the launch was for PS4, but the launch for PS4 didn't get me as hyped as the launch for PS3 did. So I'm gonna give this a B plus. Like, it's got some solid titles in here, and things like that. Some of them are technically games that are coming everywhere else, and some of them, and like Spider-Man Remastered kind of throws the whole thing off because that's technically a rehash of the last gen's title. So I give it a B plus. Like there could definitely have been some strong showings. Like if Ratchet and Clank was a launch game, yeah, I probably would have given it an A or A minus. And if and what was the other game? There was another game that was featured on the first State of Play where they revealed some of the PlayStation games. It's escaping me right now. But if there was one other game that was featured on that, and it wasn't Sackboy, because Sackboy was on that. Oh, the game that's done by the Resident Evil guy. There's like a first-person shooter, except the guy is using like the freaking what's those gestures from Naruto? You know what I'm talking about? Or the finger gestures, where he's basically banishing demons and stuff. That one. Yeah. What's the game? I'll look it up in a second. But basically, if some of the games from State of Play, from that first State of Play, were going to be a little more heavily prominent in the launch, I probably would have given it an A or an A minus.
I'm gonna go B. Miles Morales has me really, really hyped. Everything else is just kind of meh. I am curious. We haven't seen much of Destruction All Stars. I would love to see more on that because, like, if that ends up being like a Rocket League style where like everybody kind of just goes back to it and plays it competitively, like that could be fun. Yeah, I think it's solid B.
Okay, Austin.
I'm gonna go with Nellie. I'm gonna give it a B minus as well. Miles Morales is a big game, but I feel like since one of the big PlayStation exclusives is a remake, that it's kind of a little bit of a letdown. Not that Demon's Souls doesn't look great. Demon's Souls looks awesome. But the fact that it was just a remake and that's like what you're selling on a brand new system is just like, okay, that's fine. Had Miles Morales been like just a DLC, like what we were thinking it was at first, I probably would have put it lower. But since it is a whole new game, I'm definitely giving it a benefit of the doubt. Sackboy's good for the kids. Destruction All-Stars seems to be some kind of multiplayer, even though I don't expect a whole lot of people playing that because they'll be playing Call of Duty and NBA and all the other online games. So
you're saying Sackboy is good for the kids, like Sackboy is good for my grown ass.
Oh yeah. But you know how Knack was for the kids on PS4. And
oh god.
But Sackboy's much better.
Yeah. Thank you. Please clear that up.
We're gonna get a much better game, but I know that's why they always try to like.
There's always
make sure everyone's included.
Yeah, there's always one kiddie title in launch, which is good. You know, like honestly, I'm surprised Bugsnax wasn't ready for launch.
What if Bugsnax ends up being free in November? PlayStation Plus game of the month.
No, that game has way too much hype.
That's crazy.
Does it actually have hype, or is it Greg Miller shouting as loud as he can?
No, I hear too many people singing that dumb song.
Yeah.
I will say dumb song. I shouldn't say that because Kira Bonito, she's cool. I like that song Flamingo that she has. Yeah, I don't know.
All right, so it seems like the consensus is sounds like a B- score overall from the four of us. I think that was our average. Yeah. All right. Basically, my take on it is the PlayStation 5. It's a good lineup, but it's not like it's not throwing me it didn't throw me a bunch of must-haves, and that's kind of why it scored so low. I mean, I'm going to get Miles Morales, but other games like I already told you guys, I'm getting Cyberpunk for the PC. Like, I mean, you know, despite this whole fiasco with graphics cards right now, like I'm trying not to have my Cyberpunk launch ruined.
I will say though, outside of Gears of War Tactics, what does Xbox have for exclusives? They got a lot of games, but they don't have a game that's like, hey, you can only play this on Xbox.
That is true.
And that to me is a little bit of a problem.
Yeah. And you know what? I actually don't like being that smug jerk that brings it up all the time. But in all honesty, like one thing that separates PlayStation from Xbox is the exclusives. It is, and and not even just the exclusives. If Microsoft, I said this at the top of the segment before we went live. If Microsoft actually had like something that actually was just on Xbox alone, you know, it'd probably be more compelling for a guy like me who technically is two systems and a PC. You know, I'm getting a PlayStation. I have a Switch. I have a PC. I'm gonna play all Microsoft's games anyway.
Yeah. It's just I want all of the consoles to succeed.
Yeah.
And I want an Xbox, but there's barely stuff that, since there's so many PS5 games that are going to be able to be played on PS4, there really isn't a whole lot on PS5 that makes me say, hey, I need this console right now.
Right.
Whereas Xbox just has nothing for me.
Yeah, you know, in all honesty, looking at this list, you know, post all the launch news hype and everything, like it's almost like I can just kind of wait. Like I'm kind of like, you know, well, you know, like I won't get a PlayStation on launch, so you know, I'll just take my time now. I'll do what I normally do when consoles come out. I'll buy the games I want, just to make sure I have access to the games when I get my system, and I'll make sure to buy an extra controller.
Yep.
Extra camera for your feet.
Yeah. Full body cam.
Full body cam.
No shirt.
All right. Well, it's time to wrap things up. So as we usually do on the wrap up, we're just gonna go around the panel real fast. Tell everybody what we've been playing, what we've been doing with ourselves this past week. I'm also gonna throw an extra one in there. If you guys have a game that you want everybody to be on the lookout for, please do, because I'm bringing a game that I want people to look out for. I got excited when I saw this game. We'll, as usual, we'll start with Nellie.
Howdy. Actually, I put a lot of time into Rise of the Tomb Raider. I know I keep saying that.
Nice.
I'm trying to beat it so I can move on to Shadow of the Tomb Raider because I haven't played it yet. And I'm actually on the lookout for Cyberpunk. I'm into the whole Cyberpunk culture. I might do a cosplay when conventions open up. So we'll see.
All right, Austin.
I'm playing Borderlands pre-sequel. Been playing that quite a bit. playing some Among Us on the phone, and so is my wife. I think she might be into it more than I am. And then I have a game that is coming out. I don't really have a date for it, but I want to give a shout out to Trigger Witch, made by Jono himself. You can follow him on Twitter called Jono himself, Jono Pesh. He is making Trigger Witch, and it is a top-down game, kind of in the likes of Zelda, but it's with a twin-stick shooter type of game. And it looks really, really good. It was on the Kind of Funny showcase maybe a couple of years ago, and it's getting very, very close. Very, very close. I want to give him a shout out. He's a cool dude, and his game looks great.
All right. I've been playing Star Wars Squadrons. There was a review going live on Thursday on bossrushgames.com. Right now, and it's this game's just phenomenal. That's really the whole gist of the review. And then of course, been playing Avengers, trying to get my Kamala character up. Her power is really low right now, so I'm trying to work on that. And then to get ready for Extra Life, I've been playing some Apex Legends again, so that I can. Try to lead Austin and Nick and Lexa into winning. We're going to win this year. We're going to win a few games this year. Let's get fun.
All right, cool. For me this week, I've actually gotten back on Monster Hunter because the final DLC dropped last Wednesday.
Nice.
So I am basically getting destroyed by Fatalis, who was the ultimate monster in the original Monster Hunter game back in 2004. So it's a lot of fun playing it. I never really stopped playing Monster Hunter. I just took a break. So, this Fatalis content has been is everything I dreamed of. Just the evolution of what it was from back in the PS2 days to what it is now on PS4 is incredible. And Iceborne comes to an end now, but there's still one more monster that hasn't been released yet, but he's basically a monster that's already in the game. So, I'm having the time of my life with it though.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, and I'm still doing my Mass Effect. I've been doing. I am 2/3 of the way through the Mass Effect playthrough. I finally decided to stop doing the story stuff and start recording some of the side content. And it's the side content that makes a difference, because my whole scope for my Mass Effect playthroughs that I'm uploading on my YouTube channel is that I want to hit all the points that get you like the best results at the end of the whole trilogy. And you have to do a lot of these side quests to get it, because there's some things that do not resolve themselves until the final game if you don't do it right. The game I want everybody to look out for, and I just put it up in the Twitch chat, is a game called Foregone. It caught my attention last night on Twitter, and when I saw it, I was like, "Ooh, I want this game." I'm a sucker for 2D sprite games, and Foregone, when you look at it, you're gonna see a lot of different popular games in there. Like Corey mentioned, like it looks like it looks like it might play like Dead Cells, but based on everything I read, like it's just a pure platforming game. It's not gonna be one of those hellacious games where, of course, you're getting punished all the time and things like that. It was actually supposed to come out today, but the development team. And I think this is in response to the whole crunch thing that happened with CD Projekt Red and Cyberpunk. The development team came out and apologized. They were deleting the game by just 1 week to get some things tweaked and hammered out, and to make sure it has a pretty good launch. So the game was supposed to come out today, but it'll actually be out next Tuesday, October 13th, and it'll be available for Nintendo Switch, PS4, Xbox One, and it's already in early access on Epic Game Store. So yeah, I saw it and I was like, oh, I'm spending $30 for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, check it out.
Yeah, I'll be getting on the Switch, because I feel like the Switch is home to games like these, at least for me.
Yeah,
at least for me. I can't put this on my 70-inch 4K television and think it's going to look good, and I can't put it on my 38-inch ultra wide monitors and think it's going to look good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Switch is so great for those type of games. Like I love playing Dead Cells and stuff like that on Switch. The only problem is you can't get trophies. So
yeah. You're a trophy hunter.
Yeah. I'm not bragging. I don't get I just like trophies. I like getting the trophies. I just love getting the trophies. Oh.
Burn of the night goes to Nellie.
He's like, it will look good on my 120-inch TV.
My outer space TV.
My Dolby Digital surround sound won't sound very good.
Well, we'll just know, like I'm a Trekkie, and I always want to feel like I'm on the bridge of Starship Enterprise. So that's why I got the ginormous TV.
I feel you.
Now he says 120 inches, but we know guys don't know actually how to figure inches correctly. So are we sure it's not like a 60-inch?
Actually, TV I'm getting ready to upgrade to is basically a downgrade in size because I'm gonna drop from a 70-inch to a 65-inch. But
smaller ones.
You gonna get that curve? You gonna get the curve?
No.
It's gonna lean to one side.
It's gonna be. I mean, it's wall mounted, so it will be tilted.
What, you gonna have a button that you have to press and it's gonna be like.
like them Samsung TVs that turn themselves into pictures.
Oh no! You gonna walk in the room like TV on.
All right, so you guys want to add anything else? I did realize I missed something, but we'll save it for next week's segment. I missed the information for Ghost of Tsushima, so we'll save it for next week's segment. I missed that. My bad.
Yeah.
Nah, because you up here bragging.
Oh, man, I see how it is. I see how it is.
I need somebody to argue with you. See, you got Logan and Austin, and then it's me and you. So
yeah.
Although you guys actually like each other.
I believe it was Austin who called me the Chris D'Elia of our group today, and I've been just really depressed ever since then.
Oh man!
I don't use that much cocaine. I mean, my cocaine level is like his is like.
All right. Well, it's time to wrap. It's time to wrap this up.
Age level, you know what I'm saying?
Say that again.
His cocaine level's higher than his age level.
Him and Leo DiCaprio, they go on a date, with 21-year-olds. By the end of the date, they're too old for them.
Jeez. Wait. Is Leo a cokehead?
Leo dates. Leo's on that edge where he's like, dates a lot of young.
It's okay. They're 21. They're old enough to make their own decisions. Chris Daly was in there with 14-year-olds in their DMs. Like, okay, come on.
Oh, that's not creepy as fuck. Yeah, like.
They still it's the best music genre.
Because I remember hearing about that.
Bieber said Delia was his favorite comedian of all time. It makes sense. 14-year-olds just love Delia. I mean, Bieber's been like 14 for like the last 10 years.
Oh man! All right, So it's time to outro us. All right, so this is gonna be it for us tonight. I thank everyone for checking us out tonight and having fun. Definitely was good in the chat. Head over to bossrushgames.com and check out some of our
words.
I finally get tongue-tied at the end of the show. It's usually at the beginning of the show I get tongue-tied. I finally get tongue-tied now. Man. All right, so head over to bossrushgames.com. Check out our wonderful lineup of shows. Shows including the Boss Rush Podcast, Arsenal X, the Xbox Podcast, Nintendo Pal Block, Tower Casuals, which is the Destiny Podcast, our 1v1 series, our video game book club, Walk the Talk just got his debut last week, as well as Trash Talk got his debut. Yeah. And Ed and I will be doing a recap episode real soon of the entire Resident Evil movie franchise. So be on the lookout for that one.
That's
all right.
Nice.
Man, I thought I was putting myself through watching every John Cena movie.
Well, the thing is, I love the Resident Evil movies.
Okay.
So it's not
realistically, are John Cena movies that bad? Because Trainwreck is phenomenal. What's the one he was?
What was the movie where they were? Was that the one where they were parents?
Yeah. No. The Amy Poehler one is where he's basically a drug dealer.
Oh yeah, he had the neck tattoos.
Yes.
let me ask you this: Underworld or the Resident Evil movies?
Oh God.
Resident
Resident Evil.
Really? Over
Resident
Underworld?
Oh, the problem is like okay. Even though there's 6 Resident Evil movies and there's 4 Underworld movies, Underworld had more flops than hits because the last Underworld movie, in my opinion, was a dud.
Yeah,
in my opinion, was a dud. The one, actually, it was 5 movies because one was a prequel movie. So that one of Rona Mitra was actually pretty good, but the only problem was it wasn't Kate Beckinsale.
Yeah,
yeah. So, but in all honesty, the dream movie is just to have Kate Beckinsale and Mila Jovovich in the same movie together. You know, kicking ass and taking names. Yeah.
Pick a name and taking asses.
Pick a name and taking asses. That sounds about right, actually. All right. So anyway, if you guys want to chat and keep the conversation going with us over at Twitter or at PS_Crossroads, where the 4 of us and our boss man Corey Derrick will hold it down with more news, events, topics, and some off key stuff that's not always gaming related. Real fast, the team here at Crossroads, as well as the squad at Boss Rush Games, would like to give a big shout out to at Kami-Jace Gaming and his podcast show, The Weekly Cooldown. Last week, Nellie and I had the pleasure of being guests on his show, and it was a good time just running over the latest news stories and being our gaming nerd self that we are. New episodes of The Weekly Cooldown can be heard every Friday on Spotify, Podchaser, and Anchor, or directly from the Weekly Cooldown's website. If you'd like to hear us talk about the big recap from the Tokyo Game Show 2020, along with the fate of Farmville, and the Sunward
Valley still around?
Well,
not anymore. Not anymore.
What are all the 60-year-olds in the world gonna do?
Now wait a minute. Is Farmville 3 still around? Is Farmville 3 still available?
Wasn't that the console release? That was the console release. Didn't they make?
I don't know. I just know that there is
Farmville even came out on console.
I feel like there was one on the console for some strange reason.
Don't lie. You play Farming Simulator every year.
True. That's
every
true.
year.
I do play it every year.
We also talked about the somewhat ballyhooed rollout of Amazon Luna too. So, if you want to check us out, head over to www.wkcooldown.com and just sit back, relax, and enjoy the shenanigans. All right. And that's it for us tonight. Thanks for tuning in to the Crossroads PlayStation Podcast. Remember, just like Sony's new slogan, play has no limits. And we're all PlayStation fanboys, whether you casually play or live and breathe gaming. That's it for us tonight. Have a good one.